2026 NHL Draft is officially over. While some teams played it safe, the Vancouver Canucks just walked away with what might be the haul of the decade. We're talking about 4 potential NHLers in a single class, including an A+ grade that even we didn't see coming. In this video, we're breaking down the elite prospects draft grades to see how the Vancouver Canucks turned their limited capital into a top-tier injection of talent, why their second-round project might actually be the steal of the entire draft. Let's dive right into it. So we're going to check out this article from Elite Prospects, and we're going to start off with the Canucks grade. Of course, as I mentioned off the top, the Vancouver Canucks received a A+ grade from Elite Prospects, and ignoring the coach-dad dynamic, the Caleb Malhotra pick should turn out well for the Canucks. Malhotra will need to continue developing his skating and overall skill in the NCAA to get there, but his defensive foundations, habits, and physical game should make him an easy player to play with, a floor raiser. Adam Novotný also has those qualities on top of being one of the best shooters and forecheckers in the draft. These two could very well ascend to the Canucks' top 6, becoming strong play drivers and even complementing each other on a line together, potentially. The Canucks continued their OHL run in the second round with Rogowski. This one, of course, kind of surprised me. Rogowski is a towering 6'7" center with almost a textbook skating form. There are 2 paths forward for Rogowski, becoming a trapping checker by adding physicality or growing his playmaking game further and pushing his upside. He's the type of project that could give a significant boost to a rebuilding team if it works out. Then came some swings for upside, starting with Niklas Aaram-Olsen, a developed shooter who needs to round out his skill set. Yaroslav Bryzgalov is just as interesting. He's limited by his skating, but has developed the short-range, pacey playmaking game to overcome it, not to mention flashes of a heavy forechecking game. We also like the Dmitry Ivchenko addition as a calm, technical goalie who could break out in a starting job next season. Of course, as we all know, Canucks last year drafted Alexei Medvedev in I believe it was the second round, if I'm not mistaken. This year, they drafted a goalie in the third round. Now, with as many as 4 potential NHLers, as we mentioned off the top, this is one of the top classes this year. Great work from an organization that desperately needed an injection of talent. And personally, I think that's exactly what they got with all of their picks. Of course, as Canuck fans, we're not used to them making this many picks in the draft. Yes, they came into it with 10 picks. They ended up trading one of their 6th-round picks, so they actually only drafted 9 players in this one. They actually ended up trading one of their, I forget exactly which pick, but it was one of the 6th-round picks to Toronto for a 5th-round pick in next year's draft, so they already got an extra pick for next year. But for what they did, I thought they did a bang-up job. Obviously, you guys know I was really high on Caleb Malhotra most of the season, so I'm really glad that they got Malhotra. Novotný did surprise me, as I did not expect Novotný to fall that far. And, of course, I was really wanting Mathis Preston. But the fact that Novotný fell into their lap at that pick, and a lot of people were saying they were expecting Novotný to go a lot earlier than he actually did. So I think that could very well potentially be a steal for the Canucks, getting Adam Novotný at 24th overall. I have mixed feelings about Rogowski. Obviously, I just mentioned Mathis Preston. I really wanted them to go with Mathis Preston at 33 or even 41. But I'll do my research on Brooks Rogowski. Obviously, the 6'7" thing, yeah, he's a big boy. And I do like big boys. So I'm intrigued to see how he does. Niklas Aaram-Olsen, granted, I don't know too much about him, but I do know Dave Hall, friend of the show, is a big fan of Niklas Aaram-Olsen. Excuse me. So we'll see how he does. Bryzgalov, don't know too much. Same thing with Ivchenko. Granted, I did not watch day 2 of the draft, so I'm going to have to do my research on those later round picks. But I want to know what you guys think. Canuck fans, let me know, what grade would you give the Vancouver Canucks in this? Would you give them an A+, A-, an A, a B? I haven't fully figured out what my grade is yet. I'm leaning towards maybe an A or A minus. I'm going to do more research, on, like I said, on those later round picks. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Where would you grade the Vancouver Canucks, and do you think they did a bang-up job with this year's draft? But we'll just quickly take a look at some of the other grades. You had the Utah Mammoth with an A from Elite Prospects. Toronto Maple Leafs obviously got an A+. I mean, they got the bell of the ball. They got Gavin McKenna. So, and I think after one, I don't think a whole lot of Leaf fans cared too much about who else they would get. They really, all they cared about was that first overall pick. Lightning got a D. I mean, I didn't hear too much about Tampa Bay. So, St. Louis Blues got an A-. They got a real good talent in Tynan Lawrence with their pick. They also got Maddox Dagenais. Seattle Kraken got an A+. Obviously, they got a clear top defenseman in Chase Reed. Of course, he fell to 7th. So it's interesting that teams passed on Chase Reed, but Seattle was not going to pass on him, so they went Chase Reed at 7. The San Jose Sharks, I think a lot of people are saying, and they're true, it's totally true, I think the San Jose Sharks are the winners of this year's draft. I mean, they get an A+ as well, but they get Ivar Stenberg at 2nd overall, perfect line mate for Matt and Celebrini. They got Keaton Vierhoff at 9, which is, in my mind, a steal. They got Stenberg and Vierhoff. I think that right there is, a win right there. That's what put them over the top, at least in my opinion. They also got Alexander Karmenov, who is 7'1". So we talked about Brooks Rogowski being a big boy. They got a guy who's 7'1" with one of their later picks. Now, it says here there's a real chance the Sharks get 3 NHLers out of this draft. Obviously, you got Stenberg, Vierhoff, and I assume they mean one of these 3, Gustafsson, Noling, and Karmenov. So we shall see. But San Jose Sharks get a A+. Pittsburgh Penguins got a B, but of course they got the best story out of the draft. They ended up being the team that drafted both Liam and Marcus Rock. Now, personally, this pains me that Pittsburgh got these 2. I really wanted them badly, but hats off to Kyle Dubas and the Pittsburgh Penguins for getting them both. And on the plus side, they get to learn from Sidney Crosby. So I don't think you can get any better than that. So kudos to Kyle Dubas and the Pittsburgh Penguins for landing the Rock twins. Obviously, they got Thomas Galvis. Don't know too much about him. They also got Pierce Mabui. But looking back up, Flyers got a C+. They went with Maxim Sokolovsky with their first round pick. Ottawa Senators got a B. And then you had the New York Rangers with a B-. Obviously, they got Albert Smeets with their 5th overall pick, who is, a lot of people are saying, is the most NHL ready out of all of the first-round picks. So don't be surprised if he is in the lineup for the New York Rangers this upcoming season. And it says here he potentially replaces Keandre Miller's impact. New York Islanders got a B+. They went with Malte Gustafsson with their first-round pick. New Jersey Devils got a B. They, of course, got Alexander Command with their first-round pick. They also got Matthias Vanhanen. They also got Nikita Sherbakov and Anton Silyaev. Apologies if I mispronounce any of the names. Nashville Predators, I think, hit a home run with Wyatt Cullen with that 10th overall pick. They also got Tommy Blau, who we've talked about on this channel. Montreal Canadiens with a B. They, of course, drafted Gleb Pugachev. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they actually moved up to get Pugachev as well. Minnesota Wild got a C+. I didn't really pay too much attention to Minnesota. Obviously, they were not in the first round because we ended up getting that pick. Los Angeles Kings got a C+. Florida Panthers got a B. They got Seamus Ignatevicius and Ryder Cali. Edmonton Oilers got a B. They got Rudolph Burkholz with their first pick. Detroit Red Wings got a C. Of course, they traded up to get J.P. Hurlbert, which I think is a feel-good story because he's apparently going to Michigan. And he does have ties to Detroit as well. Dallas Stars got a D+, which I think is so far the worst grade we've seen so far. Them and Tampa Bay, not good grades. Oscar Hemming goes to Columbus. They get a B-. Colorado Avalanche get a B+. Chicago Blackhawks surprisingly get an A- despite having traded away the 4th overall pick. They did get Xavier Villeneuve at 34th overall. So they still got someone who was projected in the first round at 34th overall. So pretty good there. And they also got Ryan Rubik, who is also a projected top 10 selection coming into the season. So great work there. Perhaps trading away that 4th overall pick will hurt a little less, knowing that they got these two. Carolina Hurricanes got a C+. We know Carolina likes to trade their draft picks as well as acquire draft picks, but they got William Hackinson at 51st overall. The Calgary Flames got an A-. Of course, they got Carson Karros with that 6th overall pick. They also have Zane Parekh and Simon Nemec, who that's probably going to be a pretty good blue line there for the Flames. They also got Joey Iginla, of course, the son of Jerome Iginla, although a lot of people are saying may not have been the greatest pick for them to go. Maybe they just went with because of the name. The Buffalo Sabres got a B+. Obviously, the big surprise was Daxton Rudolph going 4th overall to the Buffalo Sabres, but Jarmo Kekalainen, he must have seen something. So, I mean, because remember, they traded up for this pick. They also got Ilya Morozov, who I was really high on, with one of their later picks, or their second first-round pick, I should say. Then you got Boston Bruins with a C-. Anaheim Ducks with a B+. They got Nikita Klepov, who another one I was really high on. Same thing with Marcus Nordmark. We talked about Nordmark being a potential steal for the Canucks at 24th overall. He, of course, I can't remember exactly when Nordmark went, but they also got my guy Mathis Preston with the 50th overall pick, someone who I, again, was really high on. They got one heck of a player with Preston and Klepov, and yeah, that is the last of the grades. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What are your grades for each team and potentially for your own team? What would you grade your teams, what they did at the draft? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, on your way out, you can like the video and subscribe to the Line Change for more Canucks and, well, I guess no more draft-related content, but free agency, off-season content. You can also become a member by hitting that join button to receive exclusive perks, members-only videos, and behind-the-scenes stuff, and early access to videos such as like the one you're watching right now. And now, an important message from our friends over at DraftKings. It all came down to it, a best-of-6 battle that saw the Carolina Hurricanes emerge as the Stanley Cup champions. Now, as we enter the offseason, DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.